I wanna take you for a ride.
We all have the ability to start a crowdfunding campaign, the ability to make a video and share our brilliant idea to the world. And although sometimes that works out pretty great, other times, not so much. And when you spend as much time as me looking through crowdfunding websites, you quickly realise that honestly, you're just never going to run out of projects to cover. Seriously, the more you look for a particular type of project, the more comment sections you come up against, full of people begging for responses, not happy with the final product, or simply continuing to wait for it to arrive. When you dig a little deeper, you can for the most part work out what the issue is, and more importantly, you can see where the blame lies. Is it the campaign owner for overpromising, running out of money, or simply, scamming you? Or is it the backers for expecting way too much? Well, today I think I found a campaign that actually goes the other way around. A tiny campaign asking for less than $1,000 that somehow absolutely blew up with negativity and hate, with all of the fingers pointing at this lass right here. And today I'm going to give you all the complete history. Hey there guys, I'm DJ Slope from Slope's Game Room, and is this the most evil woman on Kickstarter? Our journey begins the same day that the Kickstarter begins, back on the 21st of March 2013, when a young Mackenzie Wilson, who was 9 years old, in 3rd grade education and getting nothing but straight A's, decided to show her two older, meaner brothers what for. The first few paragraphs read incredibly well, explaining that some of her favourite pastimes were playing games like Magic the Gathering, Dragon Age 2 and Borderlands 2 with her dad, as her two older brothers were just too mean to play with her. And she also dabbles in the odd Dungeons and Dragons tournament at the weekends too. Mackenzie isn't the standard girly girl, and she explains this in the description too. I have friends that are, which is fine, but I hate wearing dresses, so I don't. And I do lots of stuff my brothers do. Maybe if I had sisters it would be different, but I really love my family, even when my brothers are mean to me. So I guess this is the way my life is supposed to be. The whole brothers picking on her thing gets mentioned quite a few times throughout the description, which I do find odd, as it's actually all under her mum's name, one Susan Wilson, as Kickstarter's terms of service only allow for 18-year-olds and above to create crowdfunding campaigns on their website, for obvious reasons. Anyway, the reason her brother's picking on her gets mentioned so much is because that's the main basis behind this campaign. She asked them to help her make an RPG with RPG Maker, but they weren't interested. So she's asking for $829 of your money to go to one of those American camps for a week entitled Role-Playing Game Design with RPG Maker. And that's honestly it. What you're looking at is essentially one of those feel-good campaigns that most definitely did pull on the heartstrings of parents and RPG lovers enough to get it all the way up to $24,534 by 1,442 backers, completely smashing the original target. For those backers, it didn't really matter if the game was rubbish. Heck, it was more than likely going to be a bit rubbish, because this was her first attempt at not only a game like this, but also its software. All people really cared about was helping a young girl fulfill her dreams, all the while sticking a middle finger, or should I say blowing a raspberry, at her two older, meaner brothers. And to those people, they no doubt were very happy with the result, as the game, which was ever so slightly delayed, was eventually released as Truth and Trolls. And here it is. So, that's all of the good. Where are the issues here? Well, they actually started early in the campaign's life. Firstly, it was very obvious that this campaign was at least portrayed to look like it was written by the 9-year-old herself, with stuff like, my diary's usually hidden because my thoughts, ideas and game notes are top secret, and my brothers are brats. And although it's not 100% confirmed, it's incredibly obvious that it was actually written by her mum, as it goes into way too much detail about not enough women in tech and joking about her mum's age. Regardless, it kind of makes sense, I suppose. Otherwise, as stated, it goes against the rules of the website. Anyway, it's when looking at her mum a little bit more, you start to realise there is actually more to this story than meets the eye. Firstly, her previous campaign was hardly a campaign at all. The Cape Project. It needed 20,000 and it didn't even hit 500. And honestly, I'm not exactly 100% sure what she's actually offering here. I think it's a cape for kids who like to pretend they're superheroes or something. I don't know, it's all very, very odd and incredibly badly put together. Hence why it did so bad. But looking into Susan Wilson elsewhere does indeed make for some interesting reading, and skeptical people looking at this tiny campaign found quite a bit. The first red flag was the fact that this woman was actually, well, she was pretty damn rich. In an interview with Kotaku, she claims that she isn't the millionaire that the internet claims that she is, but at the same time, in 2009, she was one of Fortune's top 10 female entrepreneurs, meaning that yes, she did have quite a nice chunk of change. So the question is, why does she need a measly $829 to send her daughter to an RPG camp? She could easily pay for that herself. And whilst we're at it, why did an $829 campaign also have a tier for $10,000? Yet again, poking fun at her brothers, or if it's written by her mum, her own sons. Which reads, Rockstar Reward Level. At this level you get everything from the previous levels plus a personal apology from her brothers and the satisfaction of knowing that you've not only started a career, you've also helped to fund future courses in computer programming for her along with more and better games. Now, just like some of you watching, speculation began to arise on places like Reddit, NeoGAF and 4chan as posts started digging deeper into this one, as not only did the campaign go against Kickstarter's terms of service, being kind of created by someone under the age of 18, but it can also be looked at as funding education and or a charity to a degree, and that too was against the rules and regulations of Kickstarter. But that's not all, because it's also stated that sending unsolicited tweets promoting your page is also against the rules too. And Susan went a little crazy doing just that, sending mean older brothers say she can't, so 9-year-old daughter proving she can build an RPG game and pay for it, to people such as Woman Tech News, The Ellen Show, Lady Gaga and just so many others. It's ridiculous. One of the more important things to think about here is that the campaign was released at a time when females in the technology space was a hot topic. I mean, it always has been, and yes, I'm sure we can all agree that having a good gender split in pretty much any field is a good thing, but back then it was the talk of the town, and it seems that this campaign came out at just the right time to coincide with that. And because of this, the subreddit Men's Rights saw this whole thing as a way to simply take advantage of the argument. Millionaire using Kickstarter to send her daughters to programming camp, exploiting current gender issues. The claim, whether you agree it or not, was put forward with images from the campaign showing off the word STEM quite a few times, which was a popular topic at the time, debating women in STEM fields, and of course the video itself showing images like these. The whole thing just blew up with some people arguing it's okay and others, well, they hated it, discovering even more stuff about her, like the fact that she did a little bit of cyber squatting, as seen here, where she's actually trying to sell 50 Shades domains. People also started damning her for letting a 9-year-old child play on games that were obviously very M-rated, and even finding 3 previous campaigns from her back over on Indiegogo, all of which didn't hit their goal, but as always on Indiegogo had flexible funding, resulting in her getting a combined total of $2,570, and one of which was a $40 phone case, which yes, is believed to be the exact same phone case that you can buy here from Alibaba. Now, I can't confirm if all of these were delivered or not, but hey, it does paint quite a nice picture for Susan Wilson, right? So, By this point, you are all sitting on either side of the blame game. Is it just a bunch of trolls trying to ruin a feel-good project and a mum trying to use her kids to gain a cool $20,000? Or is it simply just a feel-good campaign where everyone on the internet should just chill out? Well, Kickstarter themselves actually saw no issue with the project, saying that it wasn't against their rules, but instead what people were backing was to get a video game, which is completely fine. No charity, no education fees, and no underage wrongdoings were going on here. Or at least that's the way that they looked at it. By the time the campaign came to an end, the majority of people that pledged a quid or two backed out, as they had only done so just to voice their opinions in the comments section. But besides all of this, as stated, with only a short delay, the game was complete. Truth and Trolls. And, like I said, here it is. The game itself seems fine. Honestly, I'm not a fan of RPGs myself, so I find it super boring and tedious. But if this really was made by a 9-year-old girl, I can't deny it's actually quite impressive. Now, the game did only end up being released in chapters, and sadly not everything is available to me, but it looks as if the game got to a good state before being released, although sadly, from what I have read in the comments, it was never finished. However, they did let people that use RPG Maker to have a go at changing up or editing it if they wanted by releasing the source code. A project asking for less than $900 but getting well over $20,000 and not being finished? Well, it's hard to kick off here, isn't it, considering the creator was 10 years old by the time it was released. But with that said, according to Kenzie's own Twitter, it seems that the whole RPG summer camp thing just didn't work out. And with her mum signing up to DeviantArt and plenty of quite high-end game choices made within RPG Maker, there is a strong belief that Mackenzie didn't make the game at all. And the updates continued to come in, sometimes pretending to be her and sometimes 100% being posted by her mum. Susan and Mackenzie ended up getting a free Alienware laptop and free flights to see game designers whilst all of this was being promoted during its life. Which begs the question, where did the $20,000 go? It was a tiny game believed by most to not be made by the young girl, and guys, that's the issue. Everything from this whole thing has now gone. The website associated to it, the Facebook page, and even Kenzie's own Twitter page has stopped being updated as well. And unless you know where you're looking, it's unlikely that you will ever get to play Truth and Trolls. Heck, even some of the backers never got to try it, leaving people that were anti the project and who were secretly hoping this would fail filling up all those old forum posts in the comment section with "the brothers were right." To this day, people still do talk about this whole thing, and the arguments about its legitimacy seem to be the main topic of conversation. It seems to me that nothing has changed. Susan is still a money-hungry businesswoman doing whatever she can to make it into the world of business, which she seems to be quite successful at, to be fair, and in most people's opinion, this was just another one of her get-rich-quick ideas as she continued to push her girl power attitude out to the world. I mean, seriously, you only need to read the odd blog post from this lass to see that she seriously isn't a very big fan of successful guys in general. The whole thing may have started off innocently enough, and Kickstarter themselves may not have seen this as anything but game creation with no spamming or educational fees involved, but for the most part it seems that the internet doesn't agree. So, for the first time ever on Kick Scammers, was this a scam? Well, that's up to you to decide. The more I research it, the more I see that pretty much everyone believes that it is, painting Susan Wilson as the most evil woman on Kickstarter. If this really was created by a 9-year-old girl, then you know what? It's amazing. But for me, there's way too much evidence here that shows off Susan and her small DeviantArt army as the real creators of Truth and Trolls. Looking at the simple maps used in the final product, it seems that this would have cost practically nothing. In any other campaign like this, Truth and Trolls being the final product, well, it would have been met with an extreme amount of backlash. However, in this case, Susan used her daughter as the face of the campaign and her sons as the punching bags. What do you think? Hey there guys, thanks for checking out the video. I want to give a big special shout out to all of my Patreons, but first an extra big shout out goes to this video's sponsor, Player One Clothing. Be sure to go and check out their websites for all of your video game and movie related garments. But anyway, back to those Patreons with a big shout out going to that retro video gamer, Gary Pinkett, Mantis, Ryan Burford, Andrew Dalton, Ben Jackson, Jonathan Hayward, Christopher Turnbull, Phil Olins, Tomek Grabowski, Mr. Vestek, Michael Corvin, Josh, Dina, Robertson Dunn, Lefty, Intrigued Gaming, Abby Morris, Tim Labonte, Asobi Quang DX, Tim Lunn, Hananas, Pixels.Limited, aka Samuel Victor, Red the Beard, Conrad Constantine, Pretendo64, Creamy Elephant, Casey Garner, Blitz Hedgie, King Link Reviews, Gemma Mr. T-Shirts, and Dan Petit, Primetime Penny Sleeve, Mike H. Fell, Lucas Softail, Yeo Hamburglar, Gregory Arden, Ronnie Mefford, SSWB, Solix Captor, Jeremy Rodriguez, Nick Pollard, Bram Perez, Marcus Kima, Kurt Tyndall, June, The Geeky Dad, Richard Carter, aka Fantastic Dizzy, Todd Paulfloat G, and of course, Petty Mew. If you want to get your name shouted out, come and see what I'm working on and see lots of upcoming videos and ideas and all this other stuff, then please, click the link that you see on the screen. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever you prefer. And for all those people that continue to share my stuff over on social media platforms and places like Reddit, a massive thumbs up to you too. But anyway, that's enough for now. This is DJ Slope signing out, and hopefully I'll see you all next time.